Welcome to Hired Matters. This is Josh Bistromowitz. I'm an enrollment and marketing consultant for MediaCross. And with me today, I've got Rashida Dinehart. She is director of our client service. Welcome.
Hi.
So today we wanted to talk about the basics of working with a digital marketing partner.
Mm-hmm.
As I came from the client side, and I don't always know, or I didn't know kind of what I was getting myself into. So
Before
really,
you came to the dark side.
That's it. That's exactly it. And so really just thought that this might be a good opportunity for those that have not partnered with an agency before, or, are stepping into maybe the digital realm what they haven't. And what is it that you should know going into a partnership? And then also, what are the things that you can kind of prepare for? So I figured we'd start off talking a little bit about MediaCross. We consider ourselves a full marketing agency. And what exactly does that mean in terms of, full service?
Right. Yeah. It can be a little bit of a buzzword. So MediaCross is probably like the third agency I have worked at throughout the course of my career. And we all say we're, full service, all of those things, but MediaCross really, really is. So full service means exactly that, right? like full service. It means kind of like soup to nuts, whatever your marketing needs are, we can do that for you.
Sure.
I think what I would say full service means is that truly we are a marketing problem solving partner, right? So if you come to us and you let us know what your issues are, maybe where you're not seeing adequate enrollment and all of those things, you can come to us and we will help you using our suite of products, land on the best strategic answer for you. So I would say that's what full service is, and that's definitely what we do.
Absolutely. And I think we're a little bit different in terms of our approach in comparison to agencies. When I was on the college side, you'd work with an agency or an agency would approach you, and typically they would have solutions kind of right out of the gate, right? Like, we're going to try and sell you on this product, or we know that we need to identify, your website or whatever the case may be. One of the things that I really enjoy about MediaCross is that we are a problem-centric agency, right? So we're going to have a conversation about talking about what are your challenges. And then creatively, we come back to the team, we have conversations to really figure out what is that best solution to be able to kind of solve or help in your solution or in your challenge.
And Josh, I would say, I'm probably biased, but a true MediaCross is the best. No, but a true marketing partner though thrives in that space. So that's something to think about as you are any kind of institution looking to find a partner agency. Is this an agency that's giving you cookie cutter services, or is this an agency that is asking the tough questions to figure out what are your issues?
Sure.
And are they giving you something right on the spot and being like, well, this, or are they like, let me think about this and let me go back to my team and brainstorm it, which is what we do a lot of the time here.
Absolutely. Definitely. And so, it's important when looking and considering a new agency, when you identify, so you've got a challenge, you want to step into the digital marketing realm, that you've identified that kind of challenge, but what's the best direction to go? There are multiple agencies out there. What is your recommendation in finding that right agency?
Right. So I would actually, I'd step us back and say, before you even decide a suite of agencies you want to work with, what the services are, any of those, if you're even thinking that you want to engage with any kind of partner whatsoever, digital, print, any kind of thing, I would first take a step back and ask yourself, what does success look like for that partnership? So why are you wanting to enter this partnership? Are you doing it because you're looking into this because maybe you're short-staffed and you're looking for somebody to just literally be the other hands to help you do things? Are you looking for an agency who is the subject matter expert in something? So that's the first thing I would do. I would ask yourself a tough question. Why do I want to engage a partner? And then once you have come to that conclusion, ask yourself what success looks like. Does it look like is it a one-to-one thing? I hire a media partner and I better see results in enrollment, or is it I hire a media partner and our website looks better? So I feel like you have to ask those tough questions before you even enter a partnership, or you're both going to be set up to fail.
Absolutely. Definitely. And I think it's important to consider, sometimes the length of the partnership, right? Is this kind of what you mentioned before? Is this a solution that is going to be quick and we need help, we're short-staffed, and we just need you to launch for the next 3 months or whatever the case may be until we get fully staffed? Or is this a longer term relationship? Is this something that we're going to be working and partnering on over the course of years or months or years, I should say? In terms of setting those benchmarks, we were kind of talking earlier and laughing about how you're entering a relationship. It's dating, right? But that's important kind of to think about it in that fashion, because you want to make sure that the relationship is strong and that it truly is an extension of your team.
And you want to like start off on the right foot,
Absolutely.
right? So you want to, that's why I go back to that. You have to have a clear, not that you have to like go into every relationship with a clear definition of what successful looks like, but like you want to be your most authentic self up front, so that you can problem solve things better down the road and be a better fit partner to your agency and vice versa.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to be clear, right? If things are not progressing in the fashion that you want to go, or that that it just doesn't feel right, I think it's really important to communicate that. Just like in a relationship, right? If things aren't going well or if things are not meeting those expectations, then communicating that when it's happening versus, you know, letting it fester, because that's only going to be a bad relationship for both you as the client and also the agency as well too.
Totally.
So you've gone through the process, you've selected an agency. What are the things that you should start immediately doing once that point of, you know, the ink has been dried on the contract? What is it that you as a client should be doing to prep for that relationship?
Easy. Gathering all of your like brand guidelines, imagery, anything. So anything you would need, if you were relying on your agency to truly be an extension of their team, you have to give them the assets to be an extension of your team, right? So I'm talking your most up-to-date brand standards, or guidelines, your imagery, if you have an imagery repository bank, any kind of way you can provide your new partner with imagery. We don't get this one a lot, but I love when we do get it. Your copy standards. So like, what is your brand voice and how do we talk about your brand? Just so that every time our copywriter is crafting the copy, it feels like it came from your school. Brand fonts. We need those. We need logos also. All logos, all up to date. Every single, our designer is going to be really proud of me, but I need them in all the formats. I don't need just the logo that you pulled off of a PDF somewhere.
Sure.
All the formats too. So yes, those things. And then for us, if you're coming to us specifically for digital, though, that's where we get a little tricky, right? Like, that's where really, as soon as you sign the contract, you really do need to start tracking down all of your social passwords, all of the people who have access to your social accounts, because your agency is going to need to get access to all of those tools.
Absolutely. And I think in terms of oversharing, is that even a thing in terms of, you know, providing a full repository of pictures or content or anything? It's never enough.
No, that's actually a great question, Josh, because I do feel like a lot of clients will be like, well, I'll just send you like 20 photos or something like that. Like they're afraid of like inundating us. But really you can't. You just send us all of the things and it becomes the job of the account manager and our job, the strategist, to help parse through that and figure out what are the pieces we do need or don't.
Sure. In terms of, I think it's important to include as well any information or anything that's going to kind of culture or office dynamics. You know, again, when I was on a campus, there was a set of pictures that had been used and we hated them. So if there's things of that nature as well too, I mean, I still say include them. Sometimes having a new set of eyes on it, it can be utilized differently. But if there's anything else of that nature, again, communication is key, right? And making sure that we know, or the agency knows that, hey, I'm including these. We don't love them. I mean, again, the best work is only going to be as honest and accurate as you're willing to share as well too.
Yes. So. And one thing also I want to make sure we hit on, when you're starting out in a relationship on both sides, on both the agency side and the client side, is to have patience with each other. Just like a relationship, just like we said, you can't swipe left or right on somebody. I don't know what the kids do these days. You can't swipe on somebody and then go on a date with them and expect them to all of a sudden like know everything about you and how you like your sheets folded down at night. Like that's not realistic or plausible or any of those things. So like if you want, if you want to have the more streamlined relationship where it does feel like we are a natural extension to your team, that has to start somewhere. So there could be a couple bumps and bruises on the way, but I think as long as both parties are patient and, like you said, communicating, it really sets the foundation for a long-standing partnership.
Absolutely. Don't ghost us.
Don't ghost us. Don't ghost us.
It's worth the hard conversations and the growth that happens even when bumps happen. It's an opportunity for us and I think the client to do better, right? You learn, you're going to grow. We're all human. And so just giving us the opportunity to be able to improve and better ourselves, I think is important in that relationship.
Totally.
So you brought on a new client. And what are the things that you should do in terms of being a new client? What are the things that are best practices almost, if you would?
That we do on the agency side to onboard our client.
Correct.
So I have been quoted saying, just kidding, nobody quotes me saying this, but I will say this. Agency people are basically just like researchers in disguise, right? So the stealth way that we can get a new client and know everything there is to know about that client is like amazing. Like we are, again, if you take it to dating, we are stage 5 clingering our clients out of the gate, right? Because again, we want to be that natural extension and we want to be helpful to them and not make them feel like they have to back up and tell us things that were clearly on the site or anything like that. So our first step is truly to, one, understand the contract that was signed and understand what our next steps are to get that project kicked off. But it's truly just to understand the institution at its core and what its problems are and what its strengths are. Excellent.
One bit of advice to say, as you are onboarding and you're on the client side, please do not ghost us, for instance, Yes.
It would be not having all of your brand standards and things ready to go for us, because that only just delays the ability to kick off your project.
Sure.
Not having your social stuff figured out as well also just delays the project. Those would be my 2 things. Just truly not having, well, no, I'm going to take that back. My 3 things are, I'm going to take it back to what I said at the very beginning, but not having a defined expectations for the partnership as well.
Definitely. I think that's excellent points in terms of anybody who's selecting a new agency or, maybe has selected the agency and is just starting this process. Is there anything else that you would have them consider?
Yeah, just remember that we are one team. Like, you're hiring an agency to be inclusive of your team. So it's they're never in contrast or competition with you or the client. Like, together you are working together to achieve the goals, which in a lot of cases for our clients is increased enrollment and increased institution awareness. So yeah, just remember we are one team.
Well, Rashida, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Josh.